What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with a quick breakdown on this Toronto Raptors versus the Milwaukee Bucks. One of the biggest problems that the Bucks have is DeMar DeRozan. I live in Wisconsin. I live right by Milwaukee. I'm only like 3-4 minutes away from Milwaukee. And I grew up in Milwaukee, and I'm glad to see that the Bucks got rid of their old owner, because he was basically comfortable with being mediocre. Our old owners in Milwaukee for the Bucks just did enough to make the playoffs. He didn't really care about winning the championship. They didn't really care about improving the team, signing big free agents, or trying to get somebody down in Milwaukee. We drafted decent. Michael Redd, Brandon Jennings, and stuff like that. Andrew Bogut was a decent player before he kept getting injured, but we just couldn't get over the hump of being a mediocre team. Now that we made the playoffs 2 out of the last 5 years, we lost to Chicago in the first round, and we was young, and we got better pieces now. One of the biggest problems, we don't have Bari. Jabari is another scorer, adds another diversity to the offense, has transition game down pat as a mid-range shooter, a capable three-point shooter, and a big body. And he's athletic, and he was more explosive when he came back from the ACL injury. He might work harder on his athleticism. But now we have Giannis. We have a superstar in the making player. He's an all-star. He had a good all-star game. And on top of that, he actually is a two-way player. He gets steals, he gets blocks, he plays hard, he's ruthless, he's aggressive, he knows when to pass, he knows when to score, he's patient, he's absolutely unguardable on a fast break transition, and he has really put a bright stamp on this season. It's just been an up and down season. We had a good first couple of months, then we slid after the All-Star break, then we came back up and made a run late for the playoffs. Even without Jabari, Chris Middleton came back, adding a two-way player and a 3-and-D guy that can actually score on his own. He can create his own shot, I should say. And he probably might be the difference to guarding DeMar DeRozan. The Raptors' biggest problem in the playoffs is their ability not to get to the free throw line. And if they do, they just can't score consistently. They take a lot of tough shots, a lot of isolation shots. And now with P.J. Tucker and Serge Ibaka, they added 2 defenders that can be two-way players, I should just say it like that. P.J. Tucker can knock down spot-up threes, knock down some jumpers, get to the paint every once in a while. Serge Ibaka is a knockdown three-point shooter for his position. He shoots a good percentage. He's a good mid-range shooter. And he's a good, every once in a while, rebounder. And he can create other opportunities with his defense, getting steals and blocks. And just like what happened to the Spurs in 2011, he can basically destroy teams in the paint, which means he can wall you off because he's so athletic and mobile and long and lanky that he can disrupt shots in the paint and contest shots in the paint without fouling. And he's a great shot blocker and just a decent defender. His defense has slid since he left. His last couple seasons in OKC. He's not the defender that he was in OKC, a defensive player of the year candidate. He's not that defender anymore, but he's still a decent defender. And Giannis still going to get his points. Chris Middleton still going to get his points. But the problem, and Greg Monroe, he's having a good 6-man season too. We have a lot of pieces. It's just that we're not healthy at this time. But we still have enough to make a decent series with the Raptors. This definitely not going to be a sweep series because the Raptors can get down and play D. The Bucks, like I said, they athletic, they mobile, and they got Delly, they got Giannis, they got Middleton. They have a lot of pieces that can match up good with the Toronto Raptors. But this series is going to come down to offense. Who can score the most points? We know that it's going to be a defensive series. We know that both teams can match up well against each other. But who can score more points to win? It's easy to lock down your defenders. Not lock down the team, but who can actually score enough points to pivot the close games, to get the steals, to get the stops, and still get an easy bucket in transition when you need a 2-3 point lead, or who can make enough runs that they can get a cushion for the defense. That's going to be the biggest problem with this series, is who can get buckets. the Raptors really struggle when you game plan against them in the 7-game series. The Bucks struggled and got absolutely embarrassed by Chicago. This is a different Bucks team. They have more shooters. They have more floor spacing. And Giannis is actually one of the all-star. He one of the all-NBA players now for this season. And he's going to continue to be good. Chris Middleton got a couple games under him. So he's ready to go. And it's going to be funny. I like the matchups. I like the teams. Of course, the Raptors have more star power with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, Serge Ibaka, and Jonas Valanciunas is a nice rebounder too. But they struggled last year in the first round against the Indiana Pacers when they really was trying to find their identity and find what they were trying to do. They still held DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry to less than 30%. They were shooting 40 to 30%. Kyle Lowry really struggled in that series. DeMar DeRozan struggled to get his shot off consistently in that series. And I can kind of see the same thing happening with the Bucks. They so long and athletic that they can really disrupt the Toronto offense, which is really not that good anyway. But they have a lot of players that can make plays for themselves and for other other teammates. So this is going to be a tough one. I don't really know who's going to win this series. I think the Bucks have a high chance because it's so easy to stop the Raptors sometimes. But the Raptors do have enough power to where they can lock you down defensively. And they can kind of, like I said, the Indiana series kind of goes in the back of my head because they wasn't a good defensive team. And they made the Raptors struggle to beat them. And they only beat them by 4 points, I think, in the Game 7. And I think the same thing going to happen in this Bucks series where they're going to struggle to score in a half court. And they're going to really have to trust their defense to pull out the close games, relying on DeMar DeRozan to get to the free throw line or get to that mid-range area. But like I said, when they played the Bucks a lot, the last time they played the Bucks won handedly. And the time that they beat the Bucks, it was because DeMar DeRozan hit a tough jumper. Now that they have long, lengthy Chris Middleton back, is going to be a good defensive matchup on DeMar DeRozan. So this series is going to be a 7-game series. I got Toronto in 7. It's going to be a close Game 7. But the ability of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan to take and make tough shots consistently going to be hard. But I think they can make them and win some close games. And with that being said, they should be able to pull this one out in 7. And it's going to probably be a 4 or 5 game, just like the Indiana series. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks won either because they're a decent team and they can lock down defensively, but their offense is questionable still, and that's what's going to hinder them. They got Jonas, they got Serge, they got Kyle, they got DeMar, they got DeMar Carroll. They have a decent bench like Corey Joseph and stuff like that. So they just have a little bit more offense and a little bit more chemistry because the Bucks made a lot of trades this year, and I think that pushed them over the edge, and they have more playoff experience, and they really want to prove that they can make a run at Cleveland this year, and I think Toronto pull it out in 7. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Check out my comment section. You can find my Facebook page. Please show support. Like on Facebook. It'll be in the comment in the description. Also, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. That'll also be in the description in the comment section below. And make sure you subscribe and like the video to show support. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis signing out. And we have more videos coming up for the rest of the playoff picture.